Today we are going to tell you about an outstanding Russian writer. Ivan Alexeyevich Bunin was born in 1870 in Voronezh. His house was on Большая Dvoryanskaya Street. His father, Alexey Nikolaevich Bunin, was an artistically gifted man. He belonged to an old noble family, which gave the motherland many outstanding minds, including Vasily Zhukovsky. Mother, Lyudmila Alexandrovna Chubarova, came from a princely family. She was distinguished by a poetic and gentle nature. Ivan Bunin received a good home education, having completed gymnasium and university courses under the guidance of invited teachers. Bunin published his first poem at the age of 17 in a literary magazine in St. Petersburg. His first short story, Country Sketch, was published in 1891. It was soon followed by publications of more poems and short stories. At that time, he had a job as an assistant editor in the city of Orel, Russia. His stories were published in several newspapers and magazines across country. By this time, Bunin began to communicate with Anton Chekhov, Lev Tolstoy, and Maxim Gorky. By 1900, Ivan Bunin had published over 100 poems. By the beginning of the 20th century, Bunin had become one of the most popular Russian writers. His sketches and stories, Anton of Apples, Grammar of Love, Light Breathing, The Dreams of Chern, Dry Valley, The Village, and The Gentleman from San Francisco show Bunin's propensity for extreme precision of language, delicate description of nature, detailed psychological analysis, and masterful control of plot. While his democratic views gave rise to criticism in Russia, they didn't turn him into a politically engaged writer. Bunin also believed that change was inevitable in Russian life. His urge to keep his independence is evident in his break with the writer Maxim Gorky and other old friends after the Russian Revolution of 1917, which he perceived as the triumph of the basest side of the Russian people. At the beginning of 1920, the writer left Russia and lived in France. He collaborated with Russian emigrant organizations, gave lectures, and published journalistic articles. Bunin's artistic works of these years are considered the pinnacle of his creativity: the autobiographical novel The Life of Arseniev and the novella Mira's Love. In 1933, Bunin was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature. Bunin lived in the south of France during the Second World War. Dark Avenues, a book of short stories, was one of his last great works. An unfinished book about Chekhov was published posthumously. Ivan Bunin died in Paris on the 8th of November 1953. The writer was buried in the cemetery of Saint-Geneviève-des-Bois. Bunin's works are being filmed, and many songs have been created based on his poems. Bunin was an outstanding Russian writer. In Voronezh, there are many memorable places associated with his name. There is a monument to Ivan Alexeyevich in Buninsky Square. The library and gymnasium in his hometown are also named after him. Commemorative coins and stamps with the image of the writer were issued in Russia. However, he became famous not only in Russia, but also abroad. Bunin's works have received worldwide recognition and have become classics. His rich and multifaceted life has greatly influenced his immortal lines and the whole of world literature.
Зацвела на воле в поле бирюза, да не смотрят в душу милые глаза.